Hey guys, I decided to make this video to go through my body of work progress, like my minor work basically, right? So I can choose whatever I want to do, because I didn't show, like, for the charcoal drawing the last video, I didn't do like the whole process, and I didn't think of this until now. Luckily I'm only in like the very early stages, so hopefully I can document this whole thing. So right now I've only like had sketch ideas for like what my work could be, what styles there are gonna be in, what medium I'm gonna use, what like the scale of it and the shape of it. Like I could do it like a really long panorama type painting, you know. So I have a lot of ideas actually. So step one was to draw all of these ideas. I'm just gonna flick through them real quick. So this is where I started planning styles, medium, scale, and then some ideas I already had on like the first day I was thinking about it. And then the next few pages, I got a lot more ideas. I'm not gonna go through all of them because they barely made sense in my head, so I don't know how I would explain it to other people. But you see some of them I already crossed out because I went through and crossed out the ones that I either thought I wouldn't be able to do well enough, or didn't make enough sense, or wasn't clear enough in my head. I'm just going to briefly explain some of the ideas for these works. Okay, so this first one is basically, I'm thinking a New York setting, very bright, painted, oil painted, but then instead of actual people there in like modern day clothing, sort of Greek and Roman classical statues. My only problem with this one, I can definitely execute it, but I don't know what kind of concept this would link to. Obviously it would be surrealism in terms of what art movement it belongs to or style, but there's not really a concept behind it. There's not really a meaning. Here is me in the middle and then other people's faces behind me. Sort of like, okay, that would be just me crying or something, and these be like, I don't know, people yelling at me or looking disappointed or whatever, because I feel, you know, it's just, if I was to delve into the emotional part of art, I have to delve into any sort of emotion I might feel. I'm not sure whether to make the background black or like kind of like crazy. It would either be dark and like disappointing and, you know, or swirly in the sense that, like, you know, it's driving me mad. Here, this one, these are Blythe dolls. So I don't know if you guys have seen the trend on TikTok. I can AI generate these dolls to give them different features, so I can make them look like my friends or my family if I want to. And the concept here is inspired by something I saw on YouTube. I would ask my friends how much, in terms of money, or maybe on a scale from like 1 to 100, they think they are worth, you know. So these would be them as dolls, and then I'll just have like price tag stickers or tags on them. Here, this one is, that would be me as a Blythe doll in the middle, and the rest of these figures are Barbie dolls. And that's kind of like, because Blythe dolls are from, I think, Korea, I think, or Japan or something like that. Anyway, they're Asian. And obviously Barbie dolls are, you know, conventional blonde. It's kind of like almost a beauty standard. You know, I could make something up about being Asian amongst white people. Here, definitely very surrealism inspired. Yeah, there would be a bunch of horses here. You know, a herd of horses going away. That would be a horse who's injured or dead, you know, falling behind. That would represent me. This would represent everyone else, specifically in volleyball, who is moving forward. And obviously I'm injured, so I'm staying back behind. This would be, you know, either a skeleton or its soul, and its angel. There would be like an angel sort of picking that up. Here, that is me, my head, and I'll just have like a blank puzzle piece in the middle of my face with a certain shape and maybe like what's this, 12 other people's faces who are, I guess, important to me in puzzle pieces on the side as a separate work, but none of them will fit the shape in my base. Here is a disco ball. This idea I've had in my mind for a long time, but I don't know if I want to execute it anymore. Basically, it's a huge disco ball, and in every little square there's going to be a different scene, a very sad or traumatic scene. Personal experiences, other people's experiences, you know, just troubles that global troubles. The idea is that when you look at it from far away, it just looks like a disco ball, you know, so which usually represents like fun, happiness. But if you go closer, you don't see the struggles until you go closer and look at the individual squares. Last but not least, that's me holding a compass. This would be 3 other people holding a compass, 3 people from a volleyball or whatever. You know, it's symbolic of like, okay, so I would call this, my compass is broken or something like that. So basically, you know, everyone else has the same direction going in volleyball, move on to bigger competitions, and, you know, more down that athletic pathway. But obviously my pathway has changed now since that injury, so, you know, I have something else destined for me. Okay, so I'm now out of, you know, the upstairs studio area, but I do have my sketchbook, so I can show you what I did next and what I'm going to do next. I've printed out some inspiration images that relate to all the ideas that I was speaking about before. By the way, I narrowed them down even more after what I last filmed, and then stuck them in my VAPD because it's required, because they look through this afterwards. I have these ink and graphite inspo pictures, but I decided in the end that I'm not going to use that medium. I'm gonna end up painting for sure, even though I haven't done it that much, but you know, challenges are good. Here is a whole page of inspo by James Gleason, who is a surrealist painter. I really was just like, I was very captivated by his paintings because it's like powerful. It's like, imagine this on a big scale. Imagine you as a viewer looking at this on a big scale. You'd feel very like overpowered. You'd feel like mesmerized, you know, and I kind of want to do that for my audience. The only problem with something like this is it's obviously very complicated, and I'm not very skilled in oil painting yet because I've only done one. That was my plan A, but then I thought about it again, and I was like, I probably need to make a plan B in case my skill set doesn't work out for this. And this ended up being my plan A because when I told other people, they told me it sounded like a better idea. And I do not have that much time. I might have around 8 weeks to finish this, so I need to pick whatever option is best for the time frame and my skill set. So my plan B is that puzzle thing I was going on about before, where, you know, it's a portrait of me, there's a puzzle piece missing, and 12 other puzzle pieces with faces on them that don't fit that missing piece. I suppose that whole idea is going to be about not really knowing yourself or what completes you. So tomorrow I'm going to take a trip to Officeworks, and I'm going to get 2 big canvases for that main puzzle piece, those 2 works. I also need to get bigger brushes, obviously, because I've never painted on a canvas that big, or what I'm planning to paint on. And maybe some more acrylics. I forgot to mention, I'm also going to need reference photos for those 12 puzzle pieces and the one of myself, obviously. And because they're so big, I'm going to need a lot of detail in them, so I can show my teacher how technical I can be. Right, so I'll probably use my dad's camera to take these photos, but I don't know how easy it will be to meet up with people. I just want to show you what I got from Officeworks. So I got 2 canvases. This is a 18 by 18 inch, so pretty flipping big. It's the thick sided ones, which I really like. The thin ones, they don't do it for me, especially since this is a big work. I feel like it should, you know, bulky is better, especially for the concept. Not concept, but the feel and look I'm going for, which is very surrealist in a clean, like pure white background way, you know. For the second canvas, I got an 18 by 24 inch. So this is the 18, which will go right next to the 18 by 18. And I put it up. It's gonna be like that. I also got these two giant paintbrushes. And then I just got 2 tubes of acrylic paint because I'm running out of brown. So I got burnt sienna and burnt umber. A lot of this is going to be done in school, which I probably can't film too much in, but we'll see. So the next step actually is to take some reference photos. So far I've only taken pictures of my family and one friend. So I took a couple shots of each. So I've done Isabel first. Don't know if that's very clear. Just a front and then a 3/4. I kind of did that for everyone. So there's B and a 3/4. My mom, well, this one's the 3/4 from the front. Then my dad. I have yet to do myself and a lot more people. So this is all the planning for the work. And then what I've done next is stick some of the reference photos I took in. These lines aren't supposed to be there, it's just a printing error. And then I started planning this in school, which is like the measurements for where all the puzzle pieces are gonna go and how big they are gonna be. And I think I've figured out a pretty good size for them.
Now, let's do it. Who did this? Where am I supposed to buy this from? Spotlight? Oh yeah.
Last week, they're going to be going off and doing the theory stuff.
Yay! I like that one. So I need to upload these photos to a doc, and print them out so I can put them in my VAPD. I've done 9 people so far, and so I need 3 more, and I'm trying to make them look cohesive when they're all put on the same canvas next to each other, which means I need a little bit of diversity and a little bit of diversity in features, and maybe guys and girls. But we'll see how that turns out. So what I'm actually going to do first is use masking tape. Tape around these edges, including the circles. Don't really know how I'm going to do the circles yet.
It's a par 7. Par 7? How's that work? Dave! You go, I go. Go on, JJ. Okay. It's moving. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. So you go. You go. Oh.
This took ages, maybe definitely more than an hour. I did get the hang of it in the end. Got a flow going. I think it looks pretty neat. Also, this is what my coin looks like after that. ASMR. So now we start the painting process. But I don't have little jars for my turpentine or linseed oil because they're at my art class. So I don't really know what I'm gonna use, but I will find something. Also, I don't really know how to start off a painting. Okay, luckily this canvas is pre-primed, so I didn't need to do that. But I'm not sure if like I can go straight into the color, or I see a lot of people have like a base color with all like the tones under it first, and then they go over with more color. Okay, so I have my oil and turpentine here. Guys, I'm not a painter. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I couldn't find a jar with a lid. I couldn't find 2 jars with a lid. So I'm just gonna use clean wrap. But it doesn't really matter anyway because I'm not gonna put too much oil in this because I don't actually use that much oil. I've only painted with oil. I've only painted with oil paint once, which is still an ongoing project. So I really don't have experience in this. So yeah, I'm realizing how risky this flipping project is because I don't even know if I'm good at painting yet. By the way, turpentine smells like, smells real bad. Tell me you don't love this setup, guys. I don't really know what colors are meant to be undertones, or you know, whatever layer goes first for oil painting, but I think I'll go with like a burnt sienna. I don't use water for oil painting. Okay, I know everyone looks extremely clapped right now, but I suppose they're supposed to look like that, you know. I did that in like 10 minutes, very quick, just so I can have some sort of coat I can paint on top. Honestly, the entire canvas looks fucking clapped. It looks like poo. Trust the process. I will go over this in more detail now. By the way, I am moving at a much faster pace of painting than I am editing, so this video might come to you quite a while after I finish this work.
Unfortunately 嗰啲細雀仔唔會，係，佢 recognize 唔到你嘅袋，因為我頭先擺咗好耐。
So it's been forever since I started this my work, but I have only gotten up to one person, and I still have to finish her hair. But I need to do 3 to 4 of these faces a week, to leave 1 more week to do my face before it's due, which is less time than I thought it was, but we can make it work, I think. This is hour 10, it's a Saturday, 2 p.m, and I am basically gonna paint for the rest of the day. It is now hour 11, I think, and I've finished Irene, so I'm gonna move on to Lyra. I'm doing these kind of in the order of what I think would be the easiest features to draw. So then by the end of it, I'm kind of used to doing it, and I'll be faster on the more difficult types of features. Hour 11. I'm starting to go for quantity over quality. I'm not gonna record this part because my phone's gonna die, but this is hour 13. So I don't know if you could tell, but in Irene and Lyra's paintings, the eyes seem a bit off. So it doesn't look exactly like the reference picture. You can tell it's them for sure, but something seems off. Maybe it's the proportions or something in the sketch. Or it might just be the way I painted the eyes. It seemed a little bit different between each eye. So for the next one, which is Millie's one, I decided I would start with the eyes first, see if they work well together before I paint the rest of the face, and it seems to be working. So we are a third of the way there, and I have the reference photo for my portrait, so I can start sketching that tomorrow. I'm planning to finish 2 more artworks tomorrow. Sorry, 2 more faces tomorrow. And then I think 3 each week from there. And we should finish on time. I didn't record it, but I had art class today, so that was hour 15 and 16 where I finished, I finished Isabel yesterday and I started Alexia today. I want to finish her today and finish someone else in the next 3 to 4 hours. Hour 16 or 17, I don't even know at this point. Also, I'm gonna add highlights to my mom's eyes, even though it wasn't in the reference photo, because it looks really off right now. I don't know what it is. I did kind of change her hairstyle a bit, but the face doesn't even look like her. And I can't tell what it is, so I might just have to leave it like that. Eyes are almost done. Only 3 left of this canvas, which I have to finish this week, and then I move on to my portrait, and then I have to finish that in 1 week because this is due the beginning of 2 weeks from now. And I don't know if you can tell, but B's face is really small on there, so I'm gonna sketch it again, make it bigger, and paint that, finish it today. I don't even know what it is. The color of my face, I'm obviously sick right now. I literally can't breathe like properly anymore, so I'm just gonna stop here and hopefully I can finish 2 faces tomorrow. I'm gonna peel off all this tape and then clean up like the messy areas and make the background like fully white. So we will start on the other canvas tomorrow. So I am a master procrastinator, so I did not clean up the edges yesterday, so I will do that now, which is 5 p.m. and then I have to get to work on my portrait. It's a bit far, but this is the final canvas. But while I wait for that to dry, I'm gonna start on my second one. I only have 4 days to finish it, start and finish it, excluding tonight. The only reason I'm not tracing on a piece of paper to make it more accurate is because it's just too big of a size to print. I was just gonna leave that sketch on there and make everything lower when I started painting, but actually I'm gonna go back and move everything down with a sketch because I really don't want this to go wrong, because obviously it's gonna be the biggest portrait. So if there are any imperfect details, people are gonna notice it the most from this one. I don't know if you can tell, but the brown that I put on this canvas, which is the same that I would have put on the smaller ones, it looks green, and I don't know if it's because of the pink background that I put on, or the paint is actually just wrong and I'm just currently colorblind, but it looks really bad and I don't really know what to do. Yeah, you know what time it is, guys. Food, drink. 11:30 p.m. I really can't be fucked with this anymore. And it's 12:30 a.m. so I'm gonna finish the face today, and then I only have tomorrow to finish the rest of it, which is just the hair, the neck, and my shirt, and the earrings. So we have a lot of work to do tomorrow. But it is just too late today, okay? Last day to do this, guys. It is due tomorrow. It's a lot to do. I've been up 2 nights in a row. It's 2:30 and I still haven't finished, but it's due tomorrow. I'm not filming because my phone's going to die. I finished. Okay, the lighting doesn't do it justice, but I'll show you in better lighting. And it looks better in person, I think, anyway, because every time I take a photo, it looks shit. So this is me editing. It has now been a month since I finished that, but it is currently with my art teacher at school, so I haven't been able to get a hold of it since the last time I took a video of it. So I don't have a better picture for you, unfortunately, but I will put it up on my Instagram when I do. Obviously there are imperfections in it, but looking back at how much time I spent on it, which was only 2 months, I think it's pretty good. I know it's been a long video, but obviously it was over 2 months. I couldn't shorten it too much. But this was my first artwork that actually came out of my head, you know, instead of just referencing a picture, since I usually sketch. So yeah, it was pretty fun. It was a good test of creativity, and I will have to be doing it again next year, so I might make a video on that.